week, somehow I was actually doing R&D on that. Maybe Naveen is again an automation expert. I'll check with him after this. Hi Naveen, good evening for you. Yeah.
Yeah, good
So
evening, sir.
okay, let's start. I'm sharing my screen and I think I'm recording because that is important for us more than anything. And we don't have any issues with this thing, friends. So for us, number is not important, but the only thing is, even if one or two of our friends were there, the session will continue. Because once we have recording, so that if it is uploaded, even if somebody fails to join, they can go through the recording and then come back with if any questions. So that's it. And then now let's talk about the strategies. In the last session, we had that discussion. We had a very detailed discussion. And before I continue further, uh, can you please confirm just a quick check if my screen is visible and if my audio is clear to you? Can you please confirm in the chat box? Before I, yeah, okay, then no problem. Let's continue. So this is set to do not disturb. I'll do one thing. Where is it? Status. Okay, no problem. Let it be. I'll set it again. Yes, it is again waste of time. Okay, let's proceed. I think now we are talking about location strategies. In the last week, we were talking about a use case. So this one, let me just show you. I was just doing a research on that. I'll come back on that maybe tomorrow. So this clearing thing, and I found few of the interesting things. Whatever I do, this learnings might be helpful for you as well because these things again pop up even when you do a automation in your environment, in your real project environment. You know, right? This is something which we were doing last week. If you remember, I'll just have a quick a recap and then I'll just give you a heads up like what is the issue and why this automation is failing, which we were doing last week. Of course, we were successful to some level after we removed that time, whatever that is there. Once we got input from Shankar, right? So it worked to some level, but removing that some phrase, such phrase or such keyword from that box, such box, and again continuing that automation, that is something what we are trying to test last week. So I'm doing that. I'm doing a research on that R&D. Yeah, this should be simple, but I'm just testing. Somewhere there is a stale state exception. You can see this is because we are able to locate such box and pass some keys. Once we pass keys, once that search is successful, we have to just clear that search box. That is the idea. And then I'm trying to clear, but of course I'm working on that. I didn't get much time these days, so did focus on that. But today I tried for some time and I'm seeing this error, stale state exception. Remember, stale state means I tried to do some R&D. This occurs because of these reasons. I'm just giving you a quick heads up. This might be helpful for you because these are something which pops up even in a real environment. One thing is, see, I think I didn't get to that level to introduce exception handling. So as this is just some third or fourth session in our Selenium with Python automation. So one thing is whenever one important thing is whenever you are doing any automation, keep remember using exception handling is always, see, these are very important practices. What we call is hygiene practices in a real time. Keep in mind, okay? So what is that? Clean code, what we call. I- As of now, I think we go in a random approach, but still what we call this hygiene, code hygiene, what we call HYGAENE. Let me just put it if I have a typo. Sometimes I might have a doubt with the, this is perfect spelling, no issues. Clean code hygiene standards. So coding standards, we have to follow certain coding standards. It might be Java, or it might be Python, or it might be C sharp, or many sophisticated advanced languages. So whatever it might be, we have to follow this clean code hygiene standards or standard coding practices. That is important. This is what my team used to call code hygiene is very important. Okay. So one thing is when you are building a code for automation, right? Remember this point, very important point. I'll just add it. Point to remember is make sure, okay, we place proper exception handling, proper exception handling code. I mean, into the code. Okay, this is important, friends. So remember, keep this point in mind. I just want to tell you this one. And also regarding this one, I'm just giving quick heads up. Maybe I'll fix and come back, no problem. So what is the problem here is uh, we have this one. What is it? What we called the stale state exception, and that is what I'm seeing here. If you see here, so this is because once we click on the button, it altogether just move to that action that action causes to implement what is that certain this thing on the page. Later on, when it comes to clear, if you apply clear, it has to do the clearing on that particular search box. But somehow that DOM state might have changed, right? What we call document object model. That's why it is throwing this error. And I'm just doing an R&D on that and come back. Okay, once I am clear with the this thing, I'll give a clarity on these things. And also there is a lot of learning in this, how to make sure even there are exceptions, how to how to make sure that the code runs smooth and fine without any break in the middle, like how we are facing. So all this, I'll come back with all this important points, summing up or grouping up into one program or one project, and then we'll discuss. And these learnings will be very useful to everyone, part and parcel of our automation. Okay. So this is a quick heads up, no problem. So, and second thing is, let's move to the other topics. So we are talking about strategies. Today's session, definitely it's going to be one of the very interesting session. Of course, I use the same word every day because these topics are very new, and again, it's very interesting as well. That's why I use that. These are all locating strategies. I believe in the last class we had discussed about ID strategy, class name, and then name strategy, tag name, all this. I believe we had discussed till this tag name. Today, what we do is we'll talk about working with link text and partial link test strategies, and then we will jump to CSS selector strategies, and then we'll talk about XPath. XPath already we were using since the beginning, but still, as we progress, you automatically understand how to play with XPath because I keep again and again we keep using XPath. For me, I'm a big fan of XPath more than any other tags. Okay, so that is the idea. And this is most dynamic locating strategy. This is XPath, of course. CSS to some level is also dynamic. So that is the idea, friends. So shall we start? Okay, let's start it, friends. So now link strategies, right? This is the link strategy. Let me just show you. So you can see here. A link is something like sorry, I had little cough there. Okay. So suppose you open this website. We'll do one thing. Let's open this website. Anything, any link in sense simple. Any this hyperlinks, right? All those are all you can consider as links. Or generally, sometimes you have direct links as well. Even they are called as links, friends. You can see now. This is a simple testing website. One of the website used for doing Selenium testing. This is actually open source. So you can see here there is at the bottom we have a link here. When we click on this, we go to some other page here. So here the focus is not about moving to other page, but now how do we apply this link strategy to click on this, to locate this link and then click on this link and then move to the another web page. So this is what we need to understand here. Okay, this is the idea. So how do we automate this use case with the locating strategy? And that strategy is nothing but link strategy or partial link strategy. How do we do that? Simple. So first thing is you have to inspect this particular web element here. When you inspect this, is we can easily understand most of this either will be in this hyperlinks. You can see this here, or anchor tags here. You can see this, and from this anchor tag, we just need to use this text here to apply that link strategy. So you have to just use this text. So this text can be used part of your link strategy to locate this link here. So what you have to do, friends, you should try to copy this text here and then use it in the code. I hope this is clear now. So what do we do right now? So we came to this page and we found that there are links here, hyperlinks. And to locate this hyperlink, uh, just a minute, friends. Sorry, friends, there is some noise. Okay. Now I was talking about this one and try to inspect it and then just check, use this text to locate this link. Okay. This particular link here. That's all, friends. So now let's go to the our script here now. Close all this. Closing. Don't want to confuse you with all these files. So open this link testing one. Now you can see these steps are non-steps to us, right? All this how to import this particular module or packages. All this is discussed and we are these are all known things to us. So I'm skipping the discussion till this. Okay. And this is the URL link we are passing to do the automation. And now we are applying that link strategy here. You can see to locate anything, we have to use this one, right? This is the steps we are following here now. So to locate this link in this web page, we are applying a link strategy. So we are using this find element method from driver. And then we are choosing this strategy by link test here. You can see here and the value here, this one in this hyperlink, we are choosing this text and this one we are passing as a link test to that. Right. So once we do that, what we are doing, this will helps us to locate this link and then once we locate that web element, usually if it is link, what we should do, we should perform a click on that. What we should do, friends, we should perform a click on that. Then it navigates to the next page. So this particular line helps us to locate that web element. But once we locate it, we should perform some action on that, right? We should perform some action. To perform this action, so what we have to do, we should do click. So that's why on that web element, we are applying a click action. When you do this click action, then this will take us to the this will click on that link and then the automation takes us to the next page. Hope you are clear with that. So that is the idea, friends. Okay. So now we have to do that, but I'm just commenting this. This code is for partial link. So first we'll test one by one. So now I hope you're clear. You are clear with the link strategy here, right? So how to locate some web element here. Usually if it is something like links, how do we do that? We apply a link strategy and just pass that hyperlink text here. And then if it is usually links means we perform click action. So we locate that link web element link and then and try to perform click on that. So I'm trying to run this automation now and you understand how this is going to work. So shall we run it now? Now right click. Is this clear? Do you understand now how to locate that hyperlink and then how to apply this link text strategy and how to pass the value here? All that is clear, right? Once you pass, usually on any link we need to click. So once we locate it, we have to perform click on that. Okay, so that's we are doing. I think I repeated it at least more than couple of times. By now you should be clear with this, like how to play with this links, this web element links here, right, friends? I hope you are clear. Let me run this automation. Let me run this automation. You can see it opened the web page and then what's happening now? It clicked on the link and we move to the uh, automation is now moved to the another page. And finally, once that is done, after 5 seconds, the browser is closed automatically once that automation is completed. So this is the quick idea about how to work with a link strategy. Now, same thing, but we are using partial link. Partial link in sense small change. See, almost it is same. If it is link strategy means we choose that if you see here in this particular this thing, what we do, this is the web page. And if you try to locate this, if you inspect this, you see this is our hyperlink and this is our text here. While working with link strategy, we use the whole text here. But partial link means we don't use whole text, but if you use some part of text here, some instead of orange HRM INC, you can choose orange HRM or orange something like this. So that helps you. What is it to do to locate this web element? So partial link means you don't need to declare or you don't need to specify the whole text. But if you just pass some part of text, that would be enough for us when you are working with the partial link there. I hope you are clear. Right, friends? So now what do you do right now? Here you can see I'm commenting. This is case 2. Case 1 is clear for all of us. Now we are switching to case 2. In case 2, what we are doing now? We are following the same. No, we don't have big difference. The only change is this method is same. Find element from now till the end of our automation. Every day we have to use find element from driver. And this helps us to locate the web element. That is clear. And then strategy. In the first use case, we applied link strategy. So we applied by strategy by link test. Now same thing, but we are replacing with strategy by partial link test. And then of course, here we pass the whole text, but here we just choose partial text because this is partial link test so that it can automatically, uh, it will sum up to that. No problem. If you, even if you pass that partial text, it will take care of that. So that's how partial link test works. I hope you are clear. And then we are assigning this whole web locate that web element to this reference, and on using that reference we are applying this click action, because if it is a link or partial link, what is that we should do? We should always perform a click action. So after locating that particular link web element, we have to perform this click action. So we have applied click on that. Almost it gives the same output. The automation output is same. We don't see big difference. But only thing is, what is it, friends? We have just choose a different strategy for the same automation. That's all. In the first case, we choose link test. In the second case, we choose partial link test, and the outcome will be almost same. But the only difference is this: here with partial link test, you don't need to choose the whole text to pass as a value. We just pass some part of text. That would be enough when you are dealing with partial link test, right? So shall I just run this automation now? Right click and then run it now. Now you can see it brought up the page, and then we are in the web page, and it clicked on this link, and this new web page is open. And after 5 seconds, automation is closed again. I hope you are clear with the link test and partial link test automation. Are you clear with this two locating strategies, friends? Can you please confirm in the chat box if you are good with these two strategies? Okay, thank you. How about Mala and Naveen? Fine. Now, after that, once we get clarity on this kind of strategies, this ID strategy, and then this, what are all this? We did with ID strategy, class name, tag name, and then link and partial link test. And now let's understand CSS selector, one more very interesting locating strategy. So this is very interesting, friends. Let's understand. CSS selector is also one of the most used locating strategy. So let's see that. But I'm a big fan of XPath again. Maybe I would like to ask Naveen a question, because Naveen is already doing an automation. So he's automation engineer. Naveen, which kind of strategy you use most of the time in your automation? This is a quick question to you. Will you use XPath or CSS selector?
Yeah, expert, sir. Expert.
So most of the time you prefer XPath, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I think when you see, uh, yeah, you can mute it, Naveen. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. You can see Shankar or Mala. I don't know about Mala's profile, but still, if you are also from the same automation, you know that XPath is most used locating strategy. But anyhow, having knowledge is helpful. Sometimes it would be helpful for you for interviews. So there is nothing wrong. Also, you can also use it in automation. It's not like it's just for interviews. Once you are familiar, maybe where and when needed, you can also use CSS selector locating strategy, right? That is the idea. Now, what you do right now, what is a CSS selector? I think there are beautiful websites. You can go through that if you want more deeper information. But for me, what I need is I don't want to read too much of information anytime. Uh, it should be very simple and quick to understand. That is my thought process, my way of learning things. And the example should not be too complicated. So that is what I always look for while learning something, friends. So now this is about CSS selector. CSS selector is not something really which we don't know. We already know about it. So what is it? We when we create this HTMLs, right? We try to apply CSS selectors to HTML page so that it increases the beautiness of HTML. Generally, this when you apply CSS to our HTML pages, right? Cascading style sheets, what we call, right? They add more beautiness to the HTML. That's all. But anyhow, I am not big HTML expert, but I'm good with certain things. Okay. Coming to this now, but we don't need as an automation expert, we don't need to be a expert HTML designer, but understanding tags would be enough for us. This is a quick idea. Coming to this CSS selector, it is just CSS selector is nothing but in Selenium is they are just string patterns used to identify a HTML element. This is your HTML tag. You can see here. And in this HTML tag, you can identify this tag or this web element using different patterns, right? That's what they were saying. So identify an element based on a combination of your HTML tag and then ID and class and attributes. So that is what we call CSS selector. So what here is this is your tag, friends. So we can identify, suppose not even tag, suppose this just take a simple Google website. So you can took this concept is applied for any complex website as well. I'm choosing Google because it's easy quick to understand with few web elements. Okay, now this is your search box. We can locate this search box with different strategies. You can locate it with all this. You can choose all these strategies. You can locate it with ID or class name or tag name or CSS selector or XPath or link or anything. But among all this, which is more dynamic, that we choose most of the time. XPath is more dynamic or CSS selector. After XPath, CSS selector is most dynamic I mean locator, right? So same thing. Now we can locate this search box using different strategies. Now CSS is one such strategy. If you ask me, that is one such strategy. And what CSS selector has some simple. Let me just simplify it. So to locate any web HTML element or HTML web element, the CSS selector helps us to locate that element using that tag name and then any this tag along with the ID. That is one strategy you can see here. I'm giving you a practical walkthrough. So these are all methods to identify. Maybe if you see here, how do you identify? So these are all four or five different. I mean, most popular strategies: tag and ID strategy, then tag and class strategy, tag and attribute strategy, tag class and attribute strategy, and inner text strategy. So that is these are all strategies part of CSS selector, right? Which are used to identify elements in a HTML page, right? And right, if it is a tag that I mean HTML tag, that tag has tag name along with ID or class and attributes, right? If you look at this tag, you can see here. This is tag name. That is tag what we call. So what is that? String patterns used to identify an web element. Maybe you can use web element based on combination of HTML tag. HTML tag is this one, text area or input or many more are there, right? Or image. There are so many tags like this in HTML. At least dozens of tags are available, right? So so that's what, if you want to identify any web element, so we try to create a CSS selector with a combination of HTML tag and ID. That what tag and ID means HTML tag and ID and tag and class. That HTML tag and class, tag and attributes, that HTML and then tag and then these all attributes. Tag, class, and attribute, another combination. This is one more. And then inner text, this is one more. These are all different strategies what we have with CSS selector. So CSS selector uses all this, right? But this is just an intro. Again, you might get a question like there might be a number of doubts if you are again new to this automation. If you are already doing something on automation, okay, you might have that quick idea. But very new means whatever I told, this is just an intro, and I'm not sure how much you understood this. I doubt if you had a clear idea on this. But the next 1-2 minutes discussion just gives you a quick idea. You might feel like there is nothing in this. That's all, friends. Okay. So what is this CSS selector with tag and ID? You can see in this, just look at this simple tag from Google page, right? This is the one. And this is our search box tag is this one, text area. I just copied that this tag from search box from this inspect window and then just pasted here. Now strategy one, what is strategy one? Locating this search box using this strategy one. What is that? From of CSS selector. Tag and ID. What is that? Tag and ID means use tag this one, tag of that web element. And then the ID of that ID is this one, right? ID not this. Okay, attribute this value. So this is strategy one. To locate this web element, you can follow this. What is that? You can choose that tag and ID means this one along with ID. So that is use case one. You can see that tag followed by hash. Always make sure if you are following this strategy, tag and ID, what you have to do, you should use this tag of that web element. That is part one, followed by hash. If you are locating this web element using ID, and this is a standard approach you have to follow. There is no change in this. This is what Selenium people suggested. If you are following, if you are creating a CSS selector to locate some web element using ID, then the tag has this locating strategy or that pattern has to be like this. What is that? That tag name followed by hash. If it is ID, always we should use hash between this tag name and this ID. Are you clear with this, friends? You take any website, you go and check any tag. If you are identifying a web element using ID, we have to create a pattern like this, following with the tag name followed by ID. In between, both has to be separated with hash. Whenever you see hash, wherever you see hash in any pattern like this means that is a CSS selector. Immediately you can recognize it is a CSS selector. That too, a CSS selector using ID. What is it? Using what? Tag and ID method. What they are following, friends? They are following tag and ID method. Is this clear? Is this clear, friends? What we do? Let us quickly test this CSS selector. Let's apply this in our automation and test it and see the process. Are you ready for this? Let's do it, friends. Okay. So, and method is same again. See, anywhere this for any automation, this will keep following us wherever we apply automation. This is needed. Only thing this strategy changes this time instead of that by ID, by name or anything. CSS selector we have to use and that tag pattern we should pass here. That pattern we should pass here. That's all, friends. Okay. Are you ready for that now? Let's do it now. Let's do a simple automation to apply what, friends? Tag and ID. So CSS selector with the tag and ID. This is approach one, method one. Okay. But before I do that, are you clear on this, friends, with this use case one? Right. Next, let's go to the code now. This simply, maybe we'll do one thing. And this is already I have ready made. I just built this for you. so that maybe if you want, you can create, let's create it, a dynamic code in the session itself. What is it? CSS selector method one. Okay, method one is tag and ID strategy. Okay, let's apply this. So now what you do is just copy those standard statements which need to be part of this one. Okay, so what I'll do is let me copy. Sorry, not this one. Okay, let's take. So these things, copy these standard statements till here, because these are all, this already I had discussed this number of times. If I discuss again, you might feel bored. I'm okay to discuss. Okay, so what we do is where is it? Tag and ID put here. Now let's apply the locating strategy. This time you don't need this actually, keys and sorry, you keys were not needed. By is needed. Okay, now anyhow, let's apply our strategy. What is this? So this is applying a tag ID strategy. So tag underscore ID equal to ID element. Maybe I'll put like this, ID underscore element. So I'm just writing, we are trying to do a live coding practice so that it's easy for you to follow. Now, what is that we should do? We should call that find element, and the strategy we have to apply here is CSS, right? By there is you can choose CSS, this one, okay, comma, you have to pass value here. What is the value? To locate this particular search box, you can see here the search box, the pattern, CSS pattern. We can use this. We can use the tag. So first tag and ID method. Which method you are following? Tag and ID. First pass tag here. Search with tag. You can pass tag. Okay, and then followed by, you can test your pattern here itself. That string pattern followed by ID. Right? Choose where is the ID here. Choose here. Copy this ID. Now, what is the method we are following? Tag and ID. If it is ID, make sure hash is followed with the text area. Put a hash after that and then followed by ID. You can see here. Now you can see once you pass this pattern here. Once you pass this pattern, it shows us the number of hits for that search box. Okay, we have just one hit, means we don't need to do any other filtering. We can directly copy this strategy from the inspect window. This is already tested. It should work without any problem now. Copy from here and come here, come to the code and just pass as value here. That's all. So now what do you do? So you are able to locate that search box, and then after that, what we should do? We should pass some text to that. You know what you have to do for that. So after that, tag ID element dot, to pass some value, you have to use send keys method, and to that you can pass anything. So you can pass something like Selenium. Okay, I'm just passing with Python. Okay. Right, just a minute. My daughter is making. Sorry, my daughter is making some noise. Okay, so we had located that search box, friends. Once after we located what, we are passing some text to that search box. That's all. Okay. That's all we did. So maybe if you want, you can add some. Again, what you can do on the same, you can try to locate button and then click on button. Another strategy. It's up to you how you want to pass. But this is enough, right? So going to this page and passing some text itself is clear. We are able to locate this search box using tag and ID method using of CSS selector. So just to test it to understand that method, we are just doing creating a simple automation. Okay. If this is working fine, then we are good with that particular method. Okay. We'll just continue. We'll just uh, stop here. We'll stop here and test the automation. Maybe if you want to add button, already we did it in the last week as well. You can try with that. Okay. So now uh, time dot sleep of some, just give some 5, that would be enough. Now run this automation. Okay. This is the strategy we are following. What is the strategy we are following? Tag and ID strategy of CSS selector. Run this one. What is this line is doing? Locating that web element. This line is passing text to the search box. That's all. Run this. So automation started, loaded web page, and then and it passed the text here. You can see we are able to see all that here. Selenium with Python, and close the automation. That's all. Hope you are good with this, right? This is a quick idea about what is it, friends? Locating strategy using CSS locate selector with the tag and ID. I hope you are clear with that, friends. So what we do right now, let's try second one, tag and class. Tag and class means simple, right? But with ID, you have to use something here with hash. If it is class, you have to use. They have given a clear cut of differentiation between one method to another method. Whenever you are applying tag and ID, this target syntax is, this is syntax. You are blindly follow syntax. If it is ID, you have to use hash between this tag and ID. Right. If it is class, tag and class, you have to use dot between these two. This is syntax. This is not nothing like Manoram's this thing. Okay. Proprietary kind of thing. This is suggested by Selenium. We have to follow. That's all. These were provided by Selenium people. So we have to blindly do as is what they were saying. So if it is tag and class, then tag and class must be separated with they has to be combined with the dot. Remember, tag and attribute. Tag and attribute means tag should be like this, and we should have a square bracket. In that, we have to pass attribute and value as key and value pairs. This is tag and attribute. And tag class and attribute. Tag class and attribute means tag and class always follow the same standard. What is it? Tag dot that dot strategy. That tag and class has to be combined with dot, and then and attribute means you can apply this square bracket, and then in between you can pass key and value pairs between, right, key and value pair as attribute and value. Right, attribute and value can be passed as key and value. Your attribute acts as key and the value of that acts as value. Okay. So these are the things we need to remember. We need to concentrate. I hope you are clear with all this. With ID, make sure you are combining tag and ID with hash. This is standard. With the tag and class, you are combining both with dot. With tag and attribute, make sure tags comes first and then square brackets and then a key value pair attribute as key and value as pair, value. And similarly, if you are using these three last method, it has to come like this. Let us apply few examples so that you understand. By now we tried example one, use case one or method one. This should be clear. Let's apply method two. Method two is what? Method two is a tag and class. Tag is this, right? By looking at the tag itself, you can easily understand this is tag, copy that. Okay, and then this is class, copy that. And both has to be combined with the class. Okay, what you do? Copy tag dot, what is it? Tag dot class here. That's all simple, right? I don't see what difficulties here. So simple, right? So how do you create a pattern? You find the tag of that tag name, put it here, and then class means don't use this one, CLASS, that is attribute, and we have to use value of that attribute here, that you should pass here, right? When you say tag dot class, don't pass class as an attribute. That value of class you should pass as attribute here. Okay, I mean that should be in place of class. We should substitute value. Keep in mind, friends. Over. Maybe you can just quickly go and test in the Google search box and pass this. This time this is a different pattern. Now I have passed what? I have passed this second one. What is the second one? Tag and class and combined with dot here. Of course, we have two hits. The first hit is the search box you can see here. And second hit is the some other random pattern. We don't need to care about it. As we are of course, whenever you do some search here with some pattern, we should have a unique hit here. We should not have duplicate hits. If you have duplicate hits, you have to apply some filter. Okay, but for now, as by default, it is giving us a direct hit to the search box. First hit itself is search box. We can go ahead with this. No need to apply filter for now. But in reality, in a real environment, we should make sure that we have a unique hit so that we don't have any problem with automation. Right? So that is the idea, friends. Are you clear now? Copy this now. Go to the code. This time what? What is the strategy we should follow? We should follow tag and class. So create a new file. New. So why I'm creating is not to get much and confuse it again. So tag underscore class underscore. So what is that here? CSS selector method. Okay. Now you can copy same code by tag and ID. Copy all that from here and paste it here. Paste it here, and then just change what your value here. Remove this value because the strategy is same CSS, but method is different. That's all. So nothing changes in this except what? Except this pattern. Okay, copy this now and paste it here. So I hope you are clear till this. Now what you have to do now? Automation is ready now. We prepared automation with strategy with what method? Method 2. What is our method to tag in class? And in this case, I have this is simple, right? See, this is if you just concentrate properly, there is nothing here to apply this. Just use the tag and then that class, whatever you have here, combine with dot. That's all over. That is a strategy. So that is method 2 for CSS selector. Okay, what you do right now? Run this automation. Run this automation. Sorry, I think I cancel. I run in debug mode. We are not debugging. We wanted to run it in a normal mode. So we are rerunning it in normal mode. Automation started, and then you can see we got Google page, and then so it has to enter something here. That's what you can see. Enter the text. Automation completed now. With the next 4, yeah, it quit the automation. We are done now. I hope here you are clear with this automation now. So that is the idea, friends. It is the idea about what? Tag and class. I think I have to make a little change to this comment. Okay. So tag and class is over now. Next one, what? The next one is so the third strategy is tag and attribute. Tag and attribute means there are so many attributes in this particular search box. This text area tag class is an attribute, and then title is an attribute. All these are aerial controls is an attribute, value is an attribute, and then You can see here ID is an attribute, max length is attribute, name is attribute. You can choose anything as attribute, but that will uniquely identifies this search area or search box. That's all. Okay. It should uniquely identify the search box. You can apply any strategy, right? Tag and attribute. What is the syntax? This again tag name. You should use tag name for case 3 or method 3 and open square brackets and just choose any of these attributes. Either you can choose class here. You can prepare like this. It's not like it should be. You can choose the tag and then this class is an attribute. If you want, you can choose class here now. What is it? You can choose class. So open the text area and then apply pass class here and then the value of class. With this also you can try to locate. This is another way of applying attribute strategy, tag and attribute. Suppose you ask me, Manoram, why don't we try with some other thing? Then again, same thing. Choose tag, same thing. You can see tag and attribute means choose tag, which whatever might be the tag. Here it is text area. For some other web element, it might be input. Or for some other web element, it might be image. Whatever that tag is, choose that tag there. That's all. So copy the tag here, just paste it here. And then what you have to do and attribute. Suppose you ask me, ignore name and class attributes, Manoram. Why don't you try to recognize this text area using some other attribute? If you ask me, okay, then I might ask you what should I use? Then you might say ID. So simply what you have to do now, copy this ID, pass it here equal to the value as is. Actually, we can complete whole thing. Just I'm showing you point by point. Okay. And here it should usually it allows single quotes, I believe. Okay. So this is another. So for case 3, you can follow any of these strategies. Sorry, any of these strategies with tag and attribute. For tag and class, you can choose only this one text area and this one. Tag and ID, you don't have multiple choices. For first case 1 and case 2, you have only, for each scenario, you have only one case. But for this 3, for attribute, for third scenario, tag and attribute, you have multiple strategies we can use. We can create multiple locating strategies. You can choose any one of these. Suppose you copy this, go to that web page and put that in the inspect box. In this search box on this inspect window. You can see now it is locating this search box, and that too we have a one hit here. One means one hit. And if you put cursor on this highlighted tag, you can see it is automatically highlighting text area, that search area, search box otherwise. I hope you are clear. So that's it, friends. So this is the simple idea. So that is one thing. So when you search with this pattern, still it is giving us a hit, a unique hit, and able to locate search box. So now try with this, and then just replace this. See, even now we have a unique hit, one search which locates search box with tag and attribute. Also try with this one and see this search here. Even now you have single hit here. You don't have any duplicate hits for this. So now again, if you ask me, can we create any other strategy? See, tag and attribute has it has a wide scope of creating patterns. Why? With tag and class, we have for each tag we have one class attribute, mostly one class. So we can have only one pattern for this. For tag and ID, the possibility of having ID inside any tag is only one. So this also the possibility of having this method is only just once in one case. But for attribute, in a tag, there will be multiple attributes. So the possibility for having patterns, for creating patterns, we have multiple possibilities for creating patterns using tag and attribute. Also same for tag, class and attribute. We have multiple strategies. We can build multiple strategies using this tag, class and attribute here. I hope you are clear, friends. Following that, we'll see that tag, class and attribute again. So are you good with this now? So this is an idea. So what you can do, let us test this automation. Let us test use case 3 with automation. Of course, the process, the output is same, but the way we build this automation changes from scenario to scenario. That is what, friends. Okay. I hope you are clear with that. So what we do right now, let's apply that strategy here. So now let's test this strategy for case 3. What do you do? Create one new file, Python file. This time what? So CSS selector with what? With tag and attribute. That's all. This is enough. So now you copy the basic statements, or otherwise this you are familiar with almost all the code, right? So was all that you don't need everything. It might confuse us. Put this one open and then just copy. If you want, you can copy the whole part. The only thing is we just need to change what? Change only the pattern. That's all. This one. So this is ID. By looking these patterns, you can now easily recognize. If you see hash, it is ID, tagged ID. If you see dot between two of these patterns, right? It is class, tag and class. And right, I hope you are clear. So now what we do, copy any one of these three. We tested all these three. All these three worked for us. So you can copy any one of these three and just pass that here. And this is tag and attribute. Okay, strategy of CSS selector. Now right click this and then run this. Now see the same, we get same result, but the code internally, the way we locate web element changes. See, it opened the automation and then right. Let us rerun it again. What's happening here? Let me give a quick commentary. Open browser, open Google web page, and then pass the search text, search keyword, and then this is what we are expecting, right? And then it closed it. If it is passing such keyword properly, means we are doing a proper that web element is located properly. That's all, friends. Okay. I hope you are clear. So that's the idea about this one. What is it? This tag and attribute. And now tag, class, and attribute. Let us test this. Tag class means what? Suppose tag is this. Right. What is that? Tag is text area. You know very well. Already we did that. Then class here is we should not use attribute here. This one. What is that we should do? We have to directly choose value. See here. Tag dot class. That's what, right? When it comes to tag and class, don't use attribute name, but use value of attribute. Tag and class. So tag class and attribute. Attribute is what? Along with tag and class, you can apply, you can choose any of these attributes here. It is also having wider scope like tag and attribute. So I choose tag and class, and then again we are doing again filtering on that. If this is not giving a direct hit, tag and class, what we can do internally, you can do a sub filtering here by passing what is that from that tag. You can choose any of these sub attributes like ID or like name or like any of this, right? So what you can do, you can simply what you can do, friends, simply apply tag dot class name dot class name, and after that followed by same like the third case. Open your square brackets and then choose that attribute and value. That's all. Right. This is simple strategy 3. Maybe you can apply again for another one. But class, how many will be there? Tag, class, and attribute means the class for each tag we have only one class. So put that class. We don't have multiple classes to test it here. Just one class. So tag dot class, that is fine. And attributes you can change it. Suppose you see here. For last strategy, use tag dot class. Keep that as is. Maybe attribute we can change the attribute. Instead of ID, you can choose this one. Name and value. Attribute can be name. and value can be Q here. Okay, so this one. This first part has to be same. Tag and class doesn't change, but this can change. This attribute can change. Attribute and value can change. Okay. Maybe if you ask me, why don't you try one more thing? Why not? You can tag and class doesn't change because for one tag we just have one class attribute. We don't have multiple classes, and it won't work even if you have multiple classes. So that's why tag dot class followed by maybe you can choose ID. We have added name. We have added. Maybe you can choose. What shall we do? Can we try this? Title such. Let's try such. So right, let's apply such here. Title such. Close it. Okay, let us test all these patterns. So go to the Google page, come to this inspect window and the filter one and see just past it. So this is tag, class and attribute strategy. When we tested this here, we have one unique hit. So we can use it directly in our automation. This is CSS selector. So we can pass it in the automation. That is one thing. Again, let us test second one. Even now you can see it is locating that search box and also we had a unique hit even this time. You can see. And third one, let us search. I mean, do search for third one. Now we come to this inspect window. Test it in the filter box. When you pass it again with search attribute, title attribute, even you can see it is able to locate the search box. And that too, we have a unique hit even now. So in this way, we can see what we are doing here. Anywhere we are using locating strategies. That's all. It might be CSS ID or it might be tag name. Again, in CSS, there are multiple strategies to locate the same web element. Of course, you don't need to apply all this. That is not needed. But as we are learning zone or we are in the learning phase. So we are trying to understand different possibilities. That's all. But it doesn't mean that you should apply all bunch of strategies on single web element. Even that is not recommended. Okay. So what we do right, which one should we choose here? Let us take this one, last one. Okay. Go to your, automation, create a new file because hardly it takes a minute to do that. New file, Python file, and then just tag underscore CSS selector. What is the strategy we are following? Selector underscore tag underscore class underscore attribute automation. Okay, enter. Okay, now copy all this from here and paste it in this so that we have different programs for each use case. One program for each use case. So it would be helpful for you also in future. So what you do right now, come here for fourth scenario, for fourth one, tag class and attribute, copy this here now. Okay. So what we do, I think we must copy this, come here, paste the value. Okay. 1 minute, friends, slide. Okay, now you paste it. That we are done now. One small correction is put single quotes here. Don't put double quotes. Again, we get a small correction to all this here. These values should be in single quotes. Otherwise, it will throw an error. Okay. Single quote, single quote, so single quote. So what do you do right now? That's enough. Okay, right. Now, shall we run this automation? Just change this search text. We are already seeing it. Something like just give some famous movie name. We'll search with some movie or Okay, these days happening movie is what? Okay, I'm just giving some random name, something like what is it? So there are so many these days. Yeah, Top Gun. Let me give Top Gun. So and okay, let's run this. Now we are searching for Top Gun. Okay, with automation. And the strategy here is tag attribute, tag class and attribute. Tag class and attribute. Okay, let's run this. Okay, automation started and error is thrown here because why error? See here, the error is this one syntax error. Remove this. There are two double quotes, two single quotes. Sorry. Of course, everything is fine, well and good. This time it will run without any issues. Now run the automation. See web page open and then browser open and then got Google and then it entered Top Gun. Okay, so you can see now. Done. We are done with this and close the it automatically closed automation. So these are all different strategies we have, friends, with the CSS selector. Of course, I hope you are clear now. One more is there. What is that? That is that we see in tomorrow's session. What is it? Internal text or something. Where is it? Somewhere I see it. That anyhow, no problem. I can see inner text. This is simple, not a big deal. But we'll test it tomorrow. So I have something to take care of. So are you good till this, friends? I think we almost covered almost all strategies so far. XPath, anyhow, we keep using it regularly. So you will be learning like to how to build XPath every day. Every day is a XPath day for us after from now onwards. Okay. So this is all idea about what is the different locating strategies. And from now onwards, we'll randomly pick whichever strategy suits our automations. Okay. And tomorrow it would be another very interesting session. We try to bring in some another topic like there are so many. We'll choose one. Are you good till this? Do you get that basic foundation